So today I want to talk about triggers. Primarily it's going to be about property and data triggers. And as you probably know, triggers are a big part of styles. So with property triggers, in this demo, what I want to happen is when I move my mouse over one of these ellipses, I want to change the color. So that's property. We're doing that by using property trigger. Okay. These three are tied to property trigger, and also they are tied to a data trigger. Data triggers is similar, but it's more flexible, and it can be tied to other elements such as these checkboxes. So in other words, when I click the checkbox, the color changes and it stays there until that condition is true. This last one here is tied to, again, we're using data triggers here, is tied to the text property of this text box. So if I type a color in here, the color will display in the as a fill color of our ellipse. Okay. So basically, we're going to create this from scratch. I'm going to add a new solution, a new project, and I'm going to call this property underscore data triggers. Okay. Okay, Visual Studio completed its process. Let's flip our panes as usual. Resize. Okay, first of all, I'm going to prep the design surface and create some rows and columns. Create that column definitions. Gonna need 3 columns. And 4 rows. Create that row definitions. And copy paste. Okay, you have 3 columns and 4 rows. All right. Okay, next I'm gonna need 4 ellipses here. It's going to be grid dot column 1, grid dot show 0. Well, you don't have to set that, but just gonna copy and paste. I'm gonna need that, so I don't have to type it again. I'm gonna give it a height. Let's go down below, height of 90 and width of 90. Okay, it's there. Let's get an extra fill color too. Let's go with light gray. Okay, let's copy this a few times. And copy and paste. Okay, we have 4 of them stacked on top of each other. since it's same grid and same row. I'm going to change the row to 1 for this one, 2 for this guy, and 3 for this guy. Next, I want to add my, actually put this in a region. No. Okay. Next, let's add 3 checkboxes. Checkbox. These ones I need to name them to reference them for data triggers. Let's say checkbox 1. Let's set the font size to 32. Create that column 2 over here. Create that row, it's going to be 0 for the first one. And actually I want to set the vertical content alignment to center. So it lines up, aligns the box with the font, center it. Three, change the name to 2 and checkbox 2 and checkbox 3. And let's change the row so they don't sit on top of each other. 2. And we have to give it a text, of course. We just have the boxes here, but no text. So let's go ahead and give it content. Actually, it's called content, not text. So red, content, red, in yellow for the second one, and the third one is going to be green. Content, green. Okay, let's build this. Make sure it compiles. And then set this as my startup project. And run it. So I have, okay, we have 4 ellipses, 3 checkboxes. It doesn't do nothing yet. Now we forgot our text box and text box. So text box is going to be create that column 2, create that row 3, sets the font size to 32, and let's give it a name actually too. Let's call it TBX for text box. Okay, text box is over here. Let's rebuild, rerun. Okay, very good. We have our chat boxes, and we have our text box, which doesn't do nothing yet. Okay. So let's start with our first ellipse. Okay, I'm going to need to add a style to begin with. So I'm going to say ellipse.style, open close, and start the style. So we're going to say style, and we need to set the target type for our style. It's going to be targeting our ellipse. Even though we are inside the ellipse, we still have to type that in. Okay, next we're going to need style trigger. Actually, yes, style trigger. Open close, and inside style triggers we need to add our trigger. So for prop triggers the word tag is trigger, and right after the tag we have a attribute of property. We're targeting a property called IsMouseOver. Okay, and when this condition is true, we need to set the value in there. We're saying when it's true, we want to set the fill color of the ellipse, which is a property. We want to set its value to red. Okay, so that's our trigger. Let's recompile and rerun. And nothing is happening. Let's see why. Okay. I think we know why. So the reason it didn't work because we set the fill over here, and that overrides the other colors. So when you set inside the ellipse, the fill color will override any style. Okay, has priority. So instead we can set over here inside the style. Actually, before we're setting this, let's rerun this and see if the trigger works. It doesn't. That's because it's invisible, I think. So let's set the property fill and set its value to light gray. Okay, so now let's rerun this. And it's working. Okay, so when the condition is true, which means the mouse is over the ellipse, it changes its color to red as we want it. Okay, so that's property trigger. We're going to copy and paste this to other ellipses with all changes. So first of all, I'm going to remove this fill property over there and expand the ellipse at the same time. I'm going to paste in the style. Make a couple of changes here. Light gray can stay there. We're going to change this to yellow. Okay, let's test this one out. So red, yellow is working fine. Next, we are going to do this ellipse here. I think that's the last one with property trigger. Okay, let's change the color to green. Let's test this. Okay, green, yellow, red. So they're all working. Our property trigger is working perfectly. Now we're going to look into our data triggers. So what we want to happen is when we check the box, we change the color over here. So basically, we're going to use the same color. We can use different colors too, actually. Doesn't matter. So, the style triggers tab here, it can hold more than one trigger. It's a collection of triggers, so we can actually add as many as triggers we want. So for data triggers, we're going to add, this is our first one, right? Red, yes. Did I give a name for our checkboxes? Yep, checkbox 1, checkbox 2, checkbox 3, okay. Alright, so for data trigger, we're going to open a data trigger tag and close it. So inside here, inline, we are going to set our binding to binding element name. The element name is going to be checkbox 1, and we want to bind to property, to a property called isChecked. So we are using path to get to that property. Okay, and we are saying if this is true, the value is true for this condition, then what we want to happen is we want to set the color, so we can copy and paste. Saturday is going to be the same as this one, so we can copy and paste actually. Okay, so we're setting the fill color of the ellipse to red. Let's run and see if that works. So when I check this box, I should see the color change. You can change the colors. Let's say orange for this one. Now you can copy and paste this data trigger to the other ellipses. Change the color to blue, cornflower blue for this one. And for this guy, let's use a different color. Let's go with say black. Okay, let's run this. So first, probe triggers, they are working perfectly. Next, this one didn't work, this one didn't work, this one. So we tied everything into one checkbox. That's the, I guess, the disadvantage of copy and paste. Sometimes you'll miss. So okay, let's separate them. Let's change the, this one's going to be checkbox. It's the last one, checkbox 3. The other one is going to be checkbox 2. And the first one should be alright. Let's retest this. That's why we test it anyway. So black, yellow. Now the color don't match now, but we know it's working. Alright. Let's change the color back to same so it doesn't confuse anybody. Let's match the colors. And test it out. It's red, yellow, green. Okay, so when the condition is true, it changes the color. When the condition is false, it goes back to original state. Okay, for this last one, we are going to use data trigger as well. Ellipse.style. Style. Target type is going to be ellipse. Close this out and let's bring in style.triggers and let's add our trigger. So it's going actually data trigger. We're going to bind to an element which is a text box, and we're going to bind to its text. Path is going to be text. No, actually, the path we're going to use is going to be IsFocused. So when this text box has focus, when it's true, the value is true, then we want to set the color of our ellipse here to the color that's typed into our text box. Okay, so we're going to say setter, property, fill, value. Now this value, we're going to do another binding here. So that's going to bind to element name called text box, and this time we're going to bind to the text property. So it's going to grab the value, and if that's a color, it's going to display the color here. Okay, should maybe break this into a couple pieces so we can see the code in our window. Okay, so again we're binding to this bind the ellipse to the text of our text box. So first we bind to the element name, then the path is going to be focused. So the condition we are going to use, if it says focus, it's going to run this part. So it's going to look for, it's going to set the color of the ellipse based on what we type in there. And if it's a known color, then it will do so. So if I type in RE, it doesn't do nothing, but if I type in red, it will do. Likewise, blue, gray, black, orange, so on and so forth. So we have our, again, when the condition is not true, in this case we lost focus and it went back to its original state. Okay, when I come back here, I'll display it. Okay, so that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.